Hello everyone and welcome to Be Like a Tree. So this is a wonderful practice which comes from China, and I'll give you the credits where you can explore more of this. We're on day 6 of our cleanse, and when I was walking up the Hindburn Greenway where we like to walk into wild nature, I was feeling so tired. I didn't feel I had the energy to make any films today, and we stopped by the river here and we did this practice, and within just a couple of minutes I instantly felt more energized. I felt like, yeah, I want to make films, so this is the film I'm going to make. So what we do first of all is a releasing exercise with the knees. So for this I'm going to put my hands on my knees. I'm going to bend my knees obviously, and I'll be looking forward, and I'm going to rotate my knees clockwise, and I'm going to do that 12 times. Just allowing myself to breathe naturally. And then I'm going to go the other way. So this helps to release, to prepare you for getting energized. And now I'm going to adopt the stance, which is feet at shoulder width apart. And to start with, my legs are straight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow my knees, which are now dead straight and locked, to just drop like that. So just dropped a little bit. So my knees are now very gently bent. And I can just visualize I've got a balloon under my bum that is supporting my bum. And then the next thing, with my arms and my hands, what I do is I imagine that I've got a balloon under each armpit. And then the next thing I do is I make sure my hands are not wide and they're not together, but they're just, fingers just a short way apart. So this is my stance. So now all I do is I focus straight ahead, and I just allow myself to breathe normally, and with time I allow the breath to lengthen slightly, and I just relax, and I feel my connection to the earth very strongly. I can visualize the roots growing out from the soles of my feet, growing through my shoes, into the soil, all the way into the earth, which is making me very, very grounded. And as I continue to remain in this stance, with my feeling of connection to the earth, and very much enjoying looking at the trees I'm surrounded by and listening to the waterfall in the near background. There's something about going out into wild nature and being like a tree that is a very special experience. And what does surprise me as I'm looking at the edit of this film is that over the time the position of my hands and arms actually changes, and I didn't know that at all when I was making the film. There are a lot of sensations that you go through when you do this. One of the obvious ones is sensations in the feet and the legs as you're becoming more connected to the earth, and another thing is a feeling of energy flowing in the body, and particularly in the arms and the hands, and even more so in the fingers and the thumbs. And there are times when I do this and I feel I'm literally being gripped by my thumbs by quite a powerful force. So definitely feel the energy of nature doing this practice, and it does work to do this inside as well as outside. However, if you can be outside, so much the better. So I want to speak a little bit now about the origins of this, because this practice does go back more than 2,000 years, and it's a Chinese practice, and it relates to what some people call Qigong and other people call Qigong. It's all the same thing. And the person who makes the films on Stand Still Be Fit, that you've seen the link on earlier in the film, When he first came across this, he was very skeptical because he was into lots of martial arts and body practice, and he thought, how on earth can just standing still and apparently doing nothing be so beneficial? So he came with great skepticism. And then when he started doing the practice, his teacher explained to him, he started in exactly the same way, massive skepticism, huge fan of martial arts, couldn't see how this could do any good at all. So it was only through practicing that they actually completely changed their belief systems and came to realise that the simple ways are often the most effective. So here's the link. The link is, this comes from Taoist practice, and the whole point of Taoist practice, which comes from Lao Tzu, Laotzu. Go and Google Lao Tzu and you can find out much more about this practice. It's to do with acceptance. There's a particular phrase they use which is called Wu Wei, Wuei, and that practice is all about getting out your own way, allowing the rational mind to not dominate your existence and to flow with the changes that come to us in life. And it relates to the story of the monk when someone rushes up and says, well, there's been a really exciting thing happen. He says, yeah, it'll soon pass. And then another time someone comes up and says, I've had the most wonderful thing happen. He says, it'll soon pass. Everything changes. So this is what this practice is about, is to tune into the mutability and the changeability of existence. Everything is constantly changing. One sure recipe for disappointment is to want things to stay the same. If you want anything to stay the same, you will be disappointed. If you flow with the changes, then you will have a more enjoyable life because you're in a place of acceptance. So I find that doing this practice, be like a tree, well, just look at the trees around me. The thing about trees is they are completely in a role of acceptance of where they are and what the environment is. Whether there's a little bit of pollution in the river or whether the river is pristine, the trees live with what is, and so we're advised to do the same thing. So this posture and the practice really does appreciate that. So when you go on to Stand Still Be Fit, you'll discover there's a 30-day program that you can do. So you can take this practice and develop it in your own way. And I find that if you're interested in training as a shaman, this is a very powerful tool to put into your toolkit to make use of. And what will come in a little bit later, I'll show you a technique where you can actually expand this and use it for when you're going for a walk. But before I do that, I just want to point out there are many situations that we experience in life when we have to wait. Maybe you're in a station or a bus stop, you've got some time to wait. If you're going to do exotic postures, people are going to be a bit freaked out by it. If you're just going to stand still with your arms very slightly apart and you're not moving, no one's really going to notice. So I commend this practice to you. And so every time I do this, I feel energized and I feel calm. So this is part of the Stand Still Be Fit program. It's called Be Like a Tree. Thank you very much. So as we look at this view that goes from my feet towards and up this tree, I'd like to take the opportunity to say a little bit more about the practice, which is that you start off doing this just for a few minutes. If you do it just for a few minutes a day, that's going to make a big impact on you. And gradually as you get used to practice, what you can do is you can give yourself more time. And the more time that you give yourself, obviously the more power you can derive from the experience. So as we continue to rise up the tree, it's all about connecting with your energy and connecting with universal energy. And now we can extend this process even further by adapting what we've been doing to the situation of walking. And I'm going to show you the posture in a moment, and it's a very simple one. It's hands in the pockets with a thumb sticking out. And you slowly walk down, you concentrate on your breathing. And you'll find that if you do this, walking nice and steadily, hands in the pockets, thumb sticking out, as you'll be able to see, that is a way you can walk whereby you will actually feel energized rather than feeling tired from a walk. So if you've ever got a long walk to do, this is a really beneficial way to go about it. And of course, especially when you're in wild nature, because you just want to enjoy. So be like a tree into the mode of walking. Thank you.